And hello YouTube, this is GSmaniamsmart, and I'm here on a brand new video for Gaming with GS, and today I want to take a look at the Guardian PvP build that I want to show you guys. As you see, I finally got my huge shield. One of the commenters actually commented saying that the Guild Tower shield is actually one of the biggest shields in the game, and they suggested I get it because I was looking for like a big shield, and here it is. I'm really liking it. It looks really cool, and so I just want to show you guys this, but let's go ahead and head into PvP and show you the build. This is going to be a very, as you see, I'm climbing my way up to Emerald almost. Been on a winning streak so far. Games won, win streak right now on 3 win streak. But currently, the Guardian build, oh, we want to go in the PvP lobby. The Guardian build that I'm using right now is a Trapper heavy burst damage Guardian. And one thing I want to note is that you can play this Guardian in very different playstyles. Some people like to play it in, a condition damage playstyle. Some people like to play it a bit more group oriented and cleanse conditions off of allies or stuff like that. So there are several ways of playing this. Some people like to play it as a solo roaming Guardian to just wreck people 1v1. Other people like to go a bit more defensive. It's very, you can play this, it's very versatile. You can play this class many different ways. So this is just one way of playing it. I've had a lot of fun playing the Guardian like this. And I'm going to go over the traits, the weapons, the sigils, and all that stuff. Now for those of you who want to see the gameplay, want to skip straight to the gameplay because I'll be going over some gameplay footage, you should see some annotations on screen right now, which basically directs you to the different sections of this video. Basically made it so that you don't need to watch the entire video. I don't know how long this video is going to be. It shouldn't be as long as the Ellie video because my Ellie guide is very in-depth because I know a lot about it. I don't know that much about Guardian, but I do know enough to show you a really good PvP guide. So if you want to know about the skills or the traits or about the runes and sigils and weapons, or you just want to skip straight to the gameplay, you can go ahead and do that right now by clicking the annotations on screen. There's also, if you're on your phone, there's also some timestamps in the description that you can press to if you don't see annotations. So let's go ahead and go right into it, and let's start with our weapons. Now for the Dragonhunter, and yes, this is a Dragonhunter build, so just that should be clear from the start. We are going to be using our Longbow because our Longbow has some amazing damage from far range. I cannot believe the amount of damage some of these skills in the Longbow. So that's going to be one of our weapons, and 2 of our other weapons are going to be the Sword and the Focus. Now the Focus has a great block skill here, which is block stuff, and somewhat a fairly decent heal skill, regen, but I barely use it. Maybe it's because I don't know how to use it that well. But we have that, and the Sword is just great because it's great up close combat damage, especially if you're engaging with your Judge's Intervention. Sword makes is a great place to deflect projectiles and to do some massive damage up front. So Focus is for some defense, Sword is for offense, and Longbow for offense as well. Now for the sigils, you can run a few of these very differently. Some people like to run a Sigil of Blood. You can run that. Sigil of Blood, Sigil of Air, Sigil of Fire, Sigil of Energy. Those are fairly good for these weapons. However, for me, I'm running a Sigil of Energy for the Sword, and I'm running a Sigil of Blood. That gives us a chance to steal health, and I just like getting that endurance because I like to dodge a lot. I'm so used to the Ellie. The Ellie requires so much dodge uptime, so I tend to dodge a lot. So we have Sigil of Energy and Sigil of Blood, and then from far range, you're not going to be doing much dodging because you're far range anyway. So we can go with a Sigil of Air to give us call a Lightning Strike on a critical, and we can also get a Sigil of Fire for 50% chance on critical to trigger a Flame Burst, a Flame Blast, and Air Effect damage. So these just provide extra damage here, and since we're far away, we don't really need to. Most of the time, you're going to be using the bow from far range anyway. When someone's chasing, when you're chasing someone, when someone's trying to run away, or when you're just shooting from far range, you're not going to really need to steal health. You won't be taking that much damage, and you don't really need to dodge. So that's why Sigil of Energy and Sigil of Blood aren't really useful. So you can go a bit more offensive on the Longbow sigils, and we're obviously going a bit more defensive on the up close combat, where we can steal health and where we can actually gain some more endurance to dodge more. So those are the sigils, and those are our weapons. Now for the amulet, we are using a Marauder's amulet. I really like this one because It gives us lots of power and precision, which means we're going to be critting a lot, we're doing a lot of damage, and it still gives us a decent amount of ferocity. Now, some people like to take toughness, and you can take toughness. However, I like to take vitality. I think there's no option to even get a power, precision, ferocity, and toughness, is there? Because if there was, that may be a better option, but I don't think there is one. Oh, there is one. This one right here. I have not tried this one out yet. It may be better. It may not be better. I'm not really sure. I've just really liked Marauders. It's not given me any problems. It's been great. So, ideally though, toughness is usually better because you take less damage. Vitality is really only good in world versus world. But you could try out the Demolisher, which is the one that gives toughness. I honestly have not tried it out yet, so I wouldn't be able to tell you if it's a good idea or not. But it's definitely something I will try out, and if it's any good, I'll definitely leave a comment below. I guess I'll try this out after the video. But for now, I've had great success with Marauders, so I suggest you use that one. You can try Demolishers if you want. I'm going to be trying it, so we'll see how that goes. But that's the Amulet, fairly good. You don't want to go all damage because you want to have some health or some toughness as well. So that's why we're picking Vitality. And then for our rune, and here's where you can once again switch up a bit. You can use Rune of the Dragonhunter, which I have been suggested by someone. Someone has actually taken a look at my build and given me some pointers here and there, and they suggested Rune of the Dragonhunter, and that is a fairly good pick. However, you need to buy that one, so it will cost you around 5 gold, I believe it is. And here's the Rune of the Dragonhunter. It gives you more power and ferocity, and gives you 5 stacks of might for 8 seconds when you place a trap. So whenever you place a trap, you get more might, which is really good. However, I did a damage test on the Dragonhunter rune and the pack rune, and I seem to do more damage on the Rune of the Pack than I would off of the Rune of Dragonhunter. Plus, you get a swiftness duration, and you basically run faster. So that's always good. Getting around the map quickly is never a bad thing. Having extra swiftness is never a bad thing. So, and the fact that I'm still doing more damage because our power is higher with the Rune of the Pack. The only thing that actually gets, and our precision is higher too. The Dragonhunter just gives you more ferocity, but you lose precision and you lose power. And I feel like it's not really that big of a trade-off, losing on 2 traits and only gaining on 1. Plus swiftness is always great. So if you want to try Dragonhunter, if you're liking it, it is worth a try, and you can try it. But I feel like Rune of the Pack is great. You can also, if you're going a bit more condition damaged, you can also use the Rune of the Trapper, I believe, which is right here, and this allows you to gain 2 seconds of stealth when using a trap skill, which is also fairly good, especially when maybe like a solo roaming, or even if you're trying to bring people into, like, say you're in full fire and you're in the middle and all your traps are there, and you place your traps down, no one can see where you are, and you can just direct them instantly. So Rune of the Trapper is fairly good too. However, I don't really like building condition damage on the Guardian here. It honestly wouldn't be a bad idea. I've seen some people have some great success with it. You obviously need to trait your stuff into condition damage a bit more and get some skills that are a bit more condition damagey maybe. But Rune of the Pack is great for me. I've had no problems. That's why I'm picking that. But you can do variations right here. So those are our runes, those are our sigils, and those are our weapons. Let's go ahead and run straight into these specializations. Now, you want to go ahead and pick Valor for your first one, and then we're going to go ahead and pick Smite Condition. Now, if anything this build lacks, it is condition removal, and you'll see that when we go over the skills, you can make some changes to remove some conditions. But essentially, this allows us to heal ourselves, and whenever we heal ourselves, it also removes conditions. So whenever we use our F2 here, we're able to remove conditions. Whenever we use, I don't think this one counts as heal, does it? No. And whenever we use this one, it removes conditions as well, I believe. Does it? Let me, yeah, it should remove conditions, because it says cure conditions when you use a healing ability. So I would imagine that we do cure conditions based off of this one right here. But it's always good because we need more condition removal anyway, so having more condition removal on this build is never a bad thing. Next, we're going to have Strength in Numbers, which grants nearby allies gain toughness based on your effective level. And this one is basically just what it is. It gives you toughness. Well, it gives your allies toughness. It'd be great if this one gave us toughness too, but I don't think it actually does. This is a skill that's just fairly better than the other ones, because grants Aegis to allies when you block an attack. I feel like Aegis isn't that... We don't have a lot of blocks. I mean, you could switch your 6th skill to get Shelter, right? You could do that, but the heal skill on the trap here is so huge, 6,000 for... And it gives you extra damage as well as triggers, as well as regen, I believe, as well. So I feel like Purification Trap is really good. And the only block that we actually have is this one right here, which blocks attacks, explodes when it ends. So I feel like this one is just better in general, because whenever someone's around you, they gain toughness, rather than just the slow uptime of this skill right here. And the top skill here, it just increases our toughness, but you have to wield a shield, and we're not wielding a shield. So this one is the best pick for me. Then the last line, we're going to be picking Monk's Focus, and clearly because we are wielding a focus, this is the best one to use. May as well take advantage of the fact that we're using a focus, so get it. Then on our second line, we're going to be using the Virtues, and this one for our first one. Here you can sort of, once again, decide what you want to pick. I was suggested to use the second trait here, which gives you Retaliation and Aegis whenever you're CC'd, which can be fairly good. However, after analyzing my playstyle, and once again, this is based on playstyle here, what I've realized is that I really don't lose Aegis often, because most of the time I'm either charging in with Judge's Intervention here, and by the time my traps do damage, they're already so low anyway, and they don't really hit me until they're about half health. And what I've also noticed is that I either engage with this, or I engage by placing my traps down and then pulling them with my F1 here, or for you it's F1, for me it's Z here. So the Spear of Justice I usually engage with also, and by the time all that damage goes off, I'm already benefiting from the 20% increase here. However, if your playstyle is a bit different, you can pick the second trait here. It's a fairly good trait, but I think I'm going to stick with this one, since I do tend to have Aegis up for quite some time. But the argument basically is, if you're in PvP, you're going to be getting damage from all different directions. So you may want to go with this skill right here if your Aegis uptime isn't really up as much as you like it to be. Then for our second little column here, I'm picking Absolute Resolution. And basically, this is just another condition removal. We don't have many condition removals, so it's great to have this one right here, because it does remove some conditions. And then for our last one, we're just going to get something that gives us stability, which is great because, like I said, there's no stability in the build, so we need to have some of it. And then our last trait line here, we're going to pick Dragonhunter. And here we're just going to go up, middle. And here it traps daze enemies while activating and have reduced recharge time. So this is a trapper build, so you want to have some reduced recharge time on the traps. The other ones aren't as focused on traps, so clear win right there. Second column, we're going to be getting Hunter's Determination, and this one just grants Aegis, and this one, it just once again it synergizes very well with placing more traps. Basically, whenever you're CC'd, you place another trap, and once again that obviously synergizes fairly well with our first trait here. And then for the last column, we are getting Heavy Light, and since we are using a longbow, this is beneficial for the longbow specifically, so easy pick right there, because you will be knocking down your enemies when using longbow arrows, which is always good because we have some CC in our build as well. This is especially good if you want to interrupt someone, or if you want to stop a stomp, or if you want to stop a mist essence capture. You can switch to your longbow and knock them down. So fairly good skill, very good skill actually, because we don't really have much knockdowns in our build. We don't have much CC in our build even. We do have dazes though, so dazes are fairly good though. So we do have some CC, but I feel like longbow has a pretty long range if you want to knock people down from stomping, or if your trap's on cooldown, you have a secondary go-to to knock people down from stomping or from capturing specific mist essences in Stronghold. So those are the elite specs right here. You'll see a lot of people actually run these same elite specs. Nothing really that special, especially for trapper builds. If you're going condition damage trapper, you'll see that the traits don't vary too much. But then again, I can't really say I don't play condition, but this is pretty standard. There's not much variability here, other than, you know, if you want to go this skill, you can go this skill, but most of this is pretty set in stone. So then for these skills here, if you never played Guardian, this will be really good for you. Now, most of the time, you want to, you're on the Longbow, the first two skills, they just simply do damage. But what's important is that your one skill actually cripples. So if you're trying to run away, or if you're trying to chase someone, you can use your auto attacks on the Longbow, and it will cripple them. Now your two skill is really good. It's True Shot, and does a lot of damage, over 1,000 damage, and it can actually pierce through enemies. So it's a really good skill. I love using this skill. Number 3 is another, basically it also does damage, but importantly it blinds, and it also destroys projectiles, which increases the damage dealt. So these 3 skills are basically your main attacks whenever you're trying to chase someone. They're all on a fairly low cooldown. I mean, your 3 skills on 10-second cooldown, but the other ones here are only on a 4-second cooldown, and this one you can use instantly always, and they do a lot of damage. And we use right here, you're doing over 1,000 damage, and check this out. When you use your 2 skill here, oh well, the guy killed it. But your auto attacks actually go through enemies as well. So if you see people that are like in an area, you can actually hit 2-3 people at once because your arrows bounce off right here. And these bounce off. So the maximum, what did it say there? Maximum additional bounces, it's 1. So you can actually hit multiple targets here with this by hitting an extra. And then you have your 2 skill also, which goes through several enemies as well. And I think your 3 skill does also, yeah, your 3 skill goes through enemies too. So it's really great. Longbows are really great for hitting multiple targets if they're all grouped up together. And great for 4 and 5 is also another group combo. You can put this into an area, and it basically hits everyone in the area, does burning damage, and your 5 also is another AoE, which hits everyone too. So longbows are really great from far away, or if you want to just burst some damage down on a point that people are capturing, really great to use. And that's our longbow basically. You switch over to our sword. It's a bit more close combat. You have your 1 skill, which obviously just does damage like so. You can hit over 1,000 for your last 2 hits. So we have, as you see, we're doing over 1,000 damage because of our precision and ferocity. But usually a second hit and the third hit for over 1,000. Then our 2 is actually really good because it teleports, and as soon as you teleport, you can use your 3 skill to just wreck them really quickly. Our 2 is a teleport, and our 3 is a frenzy of several sword attacks. And also, I think it breaks projectiles while costing, oh no, it doesn't. It does magical projectiles, it doesn't break projectiles. So let me show you here. Watch this. We can press 2 and we can press 3, and you can also press 1, and look at the health go down fairly quickly. So sword is a really good pick for this. And then our 4 and 5 are a bit more defensive. Our 4, I still have a hard time using this specific one right here, but apparently it's supposed to bounce through your allies, which gives regen, and it's supposed to bounce through enemies, which blinds them. However, I've never really been good at using this skill. Your 5 is really good if you want to. I'm actually gonna have to go to the Lord area back here, I believe. Is that it? Conquest NPCs. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go over here. But basically, your 5 skill here blocks attack, and this is a really good skill to use if you're low on health, if you need some extra time to place down traps, you need some extra time to get your heal skill, or if you just want to stall for some time. The block skill is really good if you're waiting on this skill actually up here too, your F2, which is a heal and a condition removal. This is a great one to stall for time, blocks damage, and it also does damage when it ends, when the effect ends. So really good skill. This is very overpowered. I believe I believe it's very overpowered because you do have free blocks for 6 seconds, I believe it is 4 seconds actually, 4 seconds, and I love using that skill. I don't think we can find where's the Lord at. Oh, there they are. Here, I want to show you how great this skill is here. Let's go ahead and now, well, let me actually go over the other stuff first, because I'm going to show you how to use these skills together. So, your 6th skill, we have Purification, and this is basically your heal. Now, you grant yourself a heal when you place the trap down. However, if somebody walks through the trap and you deal damage to them, you get even a huger heal, 6,000 heal. So, don't place this trap down. I know we like to place all our traps down at once and be like, okay, we're gonna pull someone in with our Justice Spear, with our F1, and do tons of damage. Yeah, but the smart thing to do is to place your Purification trap down later in the fight, because if someone goes through it and deals damage, you get a 6,000 heal. You don't want to waste this trap and be on a 24-second cooldown and not have your heal available because you want to place all the traps down all at once and just wreck people. So you want to wait to place this trap down later in the fight so you can get that huge 8,000 heal there, 6 plus 2. You have 8,000 heal when you really need it, because not even Shelter here. And Shelter's a fairly good one to use too. I was suggested to use this one. You can use this one if you feel like you need more block and you feel like Shelter's a really good skill for you. You can definitely use this one. I would recommend using this. But I feel like Purification is such a good skill. 8,000 heal. It's on a lower cooldown as well. So either one of these two, whichever one you feel more comfortable using, pick which one. But I love using Purification. It's fairly good. But Shelter isn't that bad either. Now these two traps are here. Procession of Blades and then Test of Faith. These are the two traps that deal massive damage, and I usually just place them down together and then I'll pull someone in with my F1 here, or what I'll do is I'll basically charge in with this one right here. It teleports to someone, and then I'll place my traps down, and most of the time they instantly die. So these two are great. The good one about this one here though is that it's unblockable, and I believe this one can also interrupt. Well, all of our traps can interrupt because we have daze on them. So it's really great that we have that skill. We have constant CC by dazing them with our traps here. And then our ultimate, I'll go over this one in a second. Our ultimate is just another trap. Now I have seen many people use this one right here. You can use Renewal Force. It'll give you Fury, it'll give you another heal, and it will make you actually invulnerable. So this is a great skill to use. However, I really don't have that hard of a time staying alive. If you have a hard time staying alive, this is a great skill to use, Renew Force. But I like having tons of traps available to me, so I like using Dragon's Maw. And it's basically a form of CC. It pulls people in. It's a slow, and it gives us power. Not power, it gives us power from the might that we get. So great skill right here. Gives lots of damage off. So if you want to go more offensive, you can go Dragon Maw. If you want to go more sustain, you can go Renewed Force. Now for our 8th skill, this is another bread and butter along with our F1. This is basically one of your engages. You can teleport to your target and then burn them and then place all of your traps down. If you see them escaping, you can pull them right back in with your F1. Now usually what I like to do is as soon as I enter a battle, you can still attack with your longbow, but I feel like sword is really good at close combat. So as soon as one way of engaging is by using this skill right here. Like I've already said before, you can engage with this, then place your traps down, and then switch to your sword, and you can just start killing them. You get low on health, you can use your block, you can use your heal trap, you can even use your F2 here or F3 to gain some defense and to gain some heal. So that's one way of engaging. But a second way of engaging, you can go from far away and just pull them in and place your traps down and then pull them into your traps with this skill right here. And then switch to your sword and you can continuously hit them. Longbow I only really use from far combat if I'm not engaging. So that's the way you want to use it. Sword if I am engaging. And yeah, it's basically all the skills. So the way you would do this is, I'll show you one way of engaging, and there's 4 of them, so I might actually die. But one way of engaging is, this is very common, this is what I love to do. I go in like this, teleport, place down my traps, and I'll switch to my sword here. And if I'm low on health, I use 5, and look at this, block, taking no damage. Now I'm low on health, place my trap down, we're back at full health here. You can also use your F3 to block some attacks as well. You want to save some time, you can use your F2 to heal. Our traps are back up. We can place them back down. We can pull them in. And we can just continue here. You see we're pretty low on health right now. We have everything's on cooldown. Our trap's about to be up though. Dodge a bit. Place our trap down. Look at that. Back to full health. And if you want, you can switch to your longbow as well and get some damage from AoE like this. but you are going to be risking the fact that you don't have your sword 5 available, which I was too slow. Sword 5 would have saved us there. But yeah, so that's kind of why it's bad to switch to your longbow, because then you won't have sword 5 available to actually block the stuff that you need to block. That's kind of how you engage. Obviously this is a lord, so it takes a bit more, longer to kill, but usually if you engage like that on people, you kill them instantly. You can 2v1 people here with this build very easily. In the footage you'll see, I think I have some footage where I actually 2v1 people fairly easily. And let me just revive. But I think that's pretty much I think that pretty much covers the skills and the specializations and the runes and the weapons and the sigils. Anything else I need to go over? Not really. I think I've pretty much gone over everything. What you can do, like I said, you can switch out your heal for shelter. What you can also do, if you need more condition removal, you feel like you're still getting bursted down a bit, you feel like you need more defense, you can switch this out for renewal for this skill, like I've already said. But what you can also do is switch out this one right here, procession of blades. You can switch it out for smite condition right here. You can use this one right here, which does cure conditions and damages nearby foes. It deals more damage if conditions are cured. So this is a really good spell too, and I see a lot of people use this one, so don't be afraid to use this if you need to. You'll still do a lot of damage with the other traps, so you're only losing about 1,000 damage from that trap. So this is a great one. And what I've also been suggested to use is Purging Flames here, which creates a ring of fire that burns foes and cures conditions on allies. So this is also a great one to use, especially if you're going a bit more Condi focused. This will give you some extra burning and almost 2,000 damage in burning there. And we're not even building condition damage. So these two are recommended if you want to switch them out, but I love using my traps. I love putting down traps really quickly and just bursting people down fairly quick. So that is basically the skills and everything. Let's go ahead and head into the gameplay. I think I have a pre-recorded piece of footage that I'll go over and just sort of commentate over it and show you how I basically play the class. And hopefully that will give you some insight and help you out a bit on how to play the class. Alright, so here we are looking at one of the matches here that I recorded, I think, maybe like 2 days ago. If you saw the Q&A, you definitely have seen this footage before, but I feel like it was a really good example of how you can use the different weapons to your advantage here. Now here, I'm just going to pause here real quick. Now what you could have done here, and I obviously don't do that, but it would have been smarter to do here, is to actually just stay back from here and use your 4 and 5 skill on your longbow and just continue shooting from far range. That actually wouldn't be that bad of an idea. But I actually end up going in with the judgment there, place on the traps, get some nice damage off on that necro there, and actually end up downing him really quickly. And we actually do some damage there. Here you see me using my heal skill because I'm really low. I didn't place the heal skill, as you notice, because there's no point in placing the heal skill if you don't need healing. So heal skill was placed late there. We get the really nice big heal off of there, and we just end up stomping everyone else there. Now you see me still keeping my longbow up. This is not really close combat. I wouldn't consider this close combat. And the longbow damage is so great. I love the longbow damage. So it's kind of hard for me to switch to sword. I only really switch to sword if I have to switch to sword. Even though you'll see later on, switching to sword can actually do a lot of damage still. But look at this, 4,000 damage there, almost 5k damage on the true shot there from the longbow 2 skill. And here this guy's doing a pretty good job at trying to kill us from downstate, but we end up getting the heal skill off and I think our wings, I think we used wings there, maybe not, but we healed up basically, and we end up clearing the entire team from middle there. So several ways you could have approached that. You could have stayed far away and shoot, and you could have gone in like I did. Now here it's a great opportunity. We don't have our engage here, so we're going to shoot from far away. I don't even know if that proc didn't seem like it actually even proc. I don't know if we missed or what, but here we are. We're going in and we switch to sword here. I believe you see we switch to sword. We're taking a lot of damage. Get the block up so he can't do any damage to us. Use our 3 skill to do a lot of damage. 3 skill on sword is a lot of damage, and we easily kill really quickly there, doing like 3,000 damage, 2,000, 4,000 damage on our sword skill, and easy kill right there, 1v1, and we end up getting the point as well. Now there, what you could have also done is placed your traps outside of the point and pulled him in with your F1. You could have done that, but I didn't really want to. I felt like he could have had stability on. He could have put stability on, and I just decided to go in and kill with my traps and with the sword. So there's the power of the sword there. Here we see our team is pretty much all of them are dead. We're trying to engage right in with our intervention there, with our meditation skill, and place the trap down. Unfortunately, not able to save. Here you'll see the longbow actually pushes him back here. There you go. There you see the power of the longbow being able to stop the stomps there. And my team's able to finish him off. We go over here and heal. Well, you could have used your F2 here to take the conditions off before you go down for heal, but our team pretty much is doing a pretty good job here. And a lot of people come into middle right here. Here we're going to use our F3 skill to block a lot of the damage here. See all these blocks we're getting off from our F3 is a great defense skill. Place down a trap, go place down more AoEs to try and do enough damage as we can. But as you see, here would have been a good idea to switch to sword, which we did right then and there. We used our sword 5 to block a lot of the stuff. And actually we didn't. It would have been a great idea to switch to sword here. I didn't switch to sword, but you should have switched to sword here. And there we switch to sword. We get really low. We get our sword 5 here, and we end up blocking attacks while we heal one of our downed allies. As you see, I get downed actually too, though, from the enemy down there, but we're able to still come out alive and kill him and revive everyone else. So as you see, I'm really only going to sword when I really need to. When everything's on cooldown and I really need to stay alive, I go to sword 5. And here, it would have been a great idea here to use sword 4 here to heal me and the other guy next to me. However, like I said, I really don't know how to use sword 4. Focus 4. Focus 4, I don't know how to use that well. And not until, I mean, today I did some practicing with it. I know how to use focus 4 now, but back when I recorded this, I really was a noob still to focus 4. So definitely use focus 4 to your advantage. It's basically a projectile that bounces off of enemies if you aim it at off of enemies and off of allies. If you go to an ally and use 4, then it'll bounce off of you and it'll bounce off of them, and you'll heal yourself in cure conditions. Same idea here. We're just going in with our intervention here with our 8 skill, dropping down the traps, switching to sword, and just doing tons of damage. There's 2,000 damage, nearly almost the sword attack there. And we're able to use our sword 5 there. Focus 5, sword 5, focus 5 are the same. They're basically the same slots. So if you see me saying sword 5, I mean focus 5. But focus 5 saves us some damage. We're able to block everything. And here we're taking condition damage. Quickly use our F2 to heal up. And another easy 1v1 there against the Necro, who isn't able to do enough condition damage to kill us with our. We have a lot of condition removal on our traps. So especially on our heal skill there, our heal trap removes some condition, our F2 removes conditions, so we're pretty easy to kill Necros. The counter for this build though is a lot of bursty, very heavy burst champions. Like if you're building a very bursty warrior, or another Dragonhunter could pretty much outplay you as well. So any burst champions can really kill you. Now here I make a mistake of putting traps down on the pet here. You should not be doing this. I put all my traps down on the pet here, which is a really bad idea. What you should have done is pulled in the other enemies with your F1 skill. And you see, I'm trying to recover here with F3 and then the heal, but just at this point I messed up already. All my traps are on cooldown and I can't really do much. I end up switching to Longbow to try dish some damage out from far away, but just too much damage from behind me. And really a terrible misplay on my part. I should have just pulled them into my traps. Or I should have just teleported to them rather than wasting all my traps on the pet there. So you want to watch out for that. A big misplay on my part. And that causes us to die there. And actually causes us to lose that point eventually too. Because there they are. So I want to watch out for that. Don't waste your traps on pets. Here we're going to go and respawn. And for some reason I love to like fly off of the platforms with my F2 skill. Probably a waste. Shouldn't be doing that. But... so here we're gonna go head to middle. Actually, you see that one of the enemies is dead there. See if we can kill him before he kills our guy. Gonna teleport in real quick, drop some traps, and try to kill them first before they kill our guy on the floor there. And did we manage to do it? No, we didn't. No, they killed too quickly. And here you see I'm swapping the sword here to get some close-up damage, killing that guy with the sword, stomping him, and on the other side our teammate stomping the other one there. And here, once again, far range. Not quick enough to get the arrows off in time to knock him back. And couldn't res our friend there. And we're actually going to get 3v1'd here. And we're actually going to die here as well. Nothing much we could have done there. Just a lot of them coming at us and trying to heal. It's actually thundering outside, if you guys hear that. Love the rain. It's a nice sound. So, we're still in second place in points here on our team, but... winning the match still heavily, 311 to 176, doing a pretty good job. I think after this play, we're actually going to end up going far, and you'll see a pretty neat 2v1 fight here. Also here, jumping off again with the F2. I love the F2 skill. It's really fun to use. It's really nice. So here I end up not helping one of our friends here. It seems like he has it. Mesmer is pretty low already, and if you look on the left side here, our teammate there is pretty high on health too. So I end up going into far because I see that there's two of them there and only one of our guys there. So I want to help him out to get that point. You always want to focus on points and conquest. Anyway, here we go. Teleport in. Dropped on all the traps. Look at that. All the damage there. Really quickly. Easy kill there. Lots of damage very quickly. And we stopped that guy. We have one guy left. I think our ally died already. So here we are just fighting alone here. 2v1ing here. Arrows crippling him. You see he's crippled here. He can't even get to us. He's being crippled. I don't want that warrior to get close to us because he'll wreck us really easily. So making sure we have cripples there, knockbacks, getting as much CC off as possible quickly to kill him as fast as possible before he gets to us. That's what we want to do there. And then we switch to sword to teleport to the down body and really kill him quickly before he can do anything to us. So that's how you want to use that. Cripple on the arrows is really good, and knockdown is really good too. To really kite people, I guess. That's what you want to do, kite people. At this point in the game, it's 384 to 218, and even if they kill the Lord, we basically still win. But essentially, you sort of see how the playstyle is. You can either pull people in with your F1, which, you know, sometimes is a good idea to do. But in this game, I really didn't do it that much. But you can easily put down traps and make sure you don't pull someone if they have stability on them. Make sure you look at the people's health bar. Underneath their health bar, it tells you what boons they have. Don't try to use your F1 skill on someone who has stability, because if they do, then, I mean, you're basically just wasting a skill. They're not going to get pulled. Another great way to use the F1 skill also is to, if you see someone chasing one of your friends and he's low on health, you can pull them back to you so your friend can stay alive. Here we're trying to kill the Lord. We end up actually killing him. You'll see that I go ahead and try to do much damage with my arrows. Then once everything's on cooldown, I switch over to sword. Here we go, switching to sword and trying to dish out as much damage as possible. Use our traps already, and because we have someone helping us, it's a lot easier actually too. But yeah, like I said, use your F1 skill to, you know, either pull someone if they're trying to escape, if you're trying to chase someone, one of your friends, pull them to try and save them, or pull them into your traps, place your traps down, and then pull them into them. And then your F2 skill, obviously, to heal, your F3 skill to block damage. You see yourself, if you see you're low, your enemy's getting, you know, hit hard on, use your F3. Here you go, the Lord's actually fairly low, and the enemy team has come already, but look at this stomp here. We're able to stomp right before we die. I stomped and we die right after, winning us the game there. And that basically gives us an extra pip there. This is actually the start of the winning spree that I had, the continuation of the winning spree I had yesterday. And we get a lot of our dailies done. So that's pretty much the Guardian build. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Obviously I'm not the best Guardian player. I could have done a lot better plays. And you saw the mistakes I made by attacking the pet. And another mistake I tend to do a lot also is going out of my healing trap. You don't want to leave your healing trap radius if you... That's basically the end of it. If you have your healing trap down, you don't want to leave the radius, because you want to stay within your healing trap so that you can gain that second heal. If somebody walks into your trap, you're going to get the heal. If you're not in the radius, you won't get the heal. I tend to make that mistake a lot too. And but hopefully the video showed you that you can actually get some pretty good stuff done with Guardian. If you have any suggestions on how to play Guardian, if you're a better Guardian player than I am, definitely leave some feedback in the comments section. And for those of you watching, definitely check the comments section, because there probably are some better players than I am down there, and they can give you some good advice there too. But hopefully this guide gave you a pretty good idea of how to start playing the class, and how to get used to it, and how to use some of the skills. And if you see some of your own, if you have your own playstyle and you want to make some changes, definitely feel free to do so. And if you enjoyed the video, go and give it a like. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, go and subscribe. Plenty of other Guild Wars 2 content on the channel. Plenty more Guild Wars 2 content coming in the future as well. I also have a tutorials channel, an advice channel, a music channel, and a vlogging channel, as well as a Patreon if you want to check that out. All the links are in the description below, as well as on the end card. And well, that's pretty much this video. Tomorrow I'm probably going to upload the third Let's Play for the Choka and Champua Legendary Shortbow Journey. I know some of you have been waiting for that, so hopefully I'll get that up tomorrow. We'll see what happens. I want to upload some League of Legends footage as well that I have of some epic Earth combat with my Riven. God, some amazing plays I did there. So I want to get that up too. We'll see what happens. But as for now, thank you for watching. This is GSmaniamsmart, and I'll be back sooner you think. Don't go anywhere.